Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to episode 301 of your Overseas Connection, the official podcast of the G4TE.com community. That is gaming for the elderly, and today is January 2nd, 2015, and I am just one of your hosts, Greg DeLacy, Gamertag Murphy's Law, OC_Murphy's Law on Twitter. And with us this week, we have Mr. Marcanix, Mr. Mark Wright.
Hello, Greg. Happy New Year to you, and Happy New Year to all our listeners. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I gave you the double Mister there, by the way. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Mr.
Mr.
Marcanix.
Mr.
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 Mister.
Mr. Yeah.
There's a band I can forget.
Yeah.
But I'm doing fantastic, Mark. Thanks for asking, and thanks for joining us today.
No worries.
Yeah. Also on the show this week, Mr. Robin Tate.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year to us all. Here we are in 2015, recording podcasts with wine and far too much chocolates and probably about half a stone heavier than I normally would be. But it's great to be here. I actually forgot it was Friday. I just lost all track of time.
Let me tell you.
What day is it?
Yeah.
My days have been completely turned upside down with the holidays, so...
I'm liking the 3-day working week, though. That works well for me.
Yeah, I can't complain. Technically working today, and I was working right up before like Christmas and the day after Christmas. But I mean, with my work, it's also one of those things where it's like it's a light day, and I'm using air quotes. So yeah, I do enjoy the holiday time frames. After this, it's going to be a bit of a grind for a while. So enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, back to grind on Monday. Everybody and their auntie. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey,
What can you do? What can you do? You have to work to pay the bills, to buy the games, to do all that sort of stuff, you know?
it is true. It is true. Well, if you are listening to this, you could be listening to this one of two ways. You could be listening to us via iTunes and listening to us pre-recorded, or if you have the time and want, you can always check us out live on Twitch, where we are streaming our podcast live every Friday, right around a 3 o'clock start time. Sometimes a little late, like today, but we try to kick it off right about 3 o'clock. So just to keep that in mind for the future, and you can take part in the chat, and we'll try and field comments as needed.
And for those not with silly time zones, it's 11 p.m. UK time.
That's a good point. I suppose I should point out, yes, that is 11 o'clock UK, 6 o'clock Eastern, and, of course, the perfect time zone, Pacific, 3 in the afternoon. All right, gentlemen. Well, we are a video game podcast. That's we do this because we love video games. We're passionate about it, and we're so passionate about it that we play a ton of video games all the time. In fact, this week probably the biggest week of playing video games. So, Mark, tell me all about all of the games you have played over the past.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what I got for Christmas, because it's a longer list than what I've played. I got Dragon Age Inquisition. I got The Crew, which was a surprise. My son and his girlfriend and two little kiddies, they got me that for Christmas. So I wasn't expecting that. I've had a quick go of that, but not enough to sort of like make any judgments. But it's not as bad as what people are saying, I don't think.
Yeah, I know I was a little bit judgmental from the beta. The story seems a bit over the top,
Yeah.
if you ask me. But I
It's
have
a
actually
driving
heard,
game.
yeah, I've heard positive things post-release. So it sounds like at least some of it has been done well enough and corrected.
Yeah. It's fun to play, so that's the main thing for me.
That is the main thing, yes.
Yeah, and it's on Xbox One as well because my son has an Xbox One, so he's bought it on that console, not a PS4. I wonder why.
Ah.
Very clever.
Uh,
For the PS4, I also got Assassin's Creed Unity and Far Cry 4.
So, funny story about Assassin's Creed Unity. I have had that game sitting in a sleeve from GameFly for 2 months now. I have yet to install it on my system. I kept thinking, okay, well, they're putting out another patch, so I'll wait. They're putting out another patch, so I'll wait. And that has been, like, what, 2 months now of and
Yeah.
constant patches. So I think it's about time I can install it, and it probably will play pretty smooth.
I think there's quite a few games like that I'm going to pick up from the bargain bin in 6 months' time. I haven't played Black Flag yet. I can't get into Assassin's Creed this time around. Maybe it's just too much of it. But definitely the driving games. I'll definitely pick that up. But I think probably in a few months' time that'll be a 20 quidder or a 25 quidder mark
Yeah,
somewhere down the
yeah,
line. Yeah.
probably. Yeah,
I mean, I can say Black Flag was a pleasant surprise from my end. It did everything I wanted it to do. It gave you a lot of the ship pirate stuff because that's what I loved about Assassin's Creed 3, and I wasn't crazy about a lot of the other part of that game. But Black Flag seems like out of all of the Assassin's Creed's games, that was hard to say, released recently, that's the one you want to play. You could have
Hmm.
skipped 3. You want to play Black Flag and Unity. Well, we know what Unity has gone through, but hopefully Unity will turn it around.
yeah. I also picked up I had a bit of Christmas money as well, and there's been some cracking sales on both PSN and Xbox Live, and I
Right.
picked up Sunset Overdrive and the Telltale Collection, which is Walking Dead season 1 and 2. It's Tales from the Borderlands, it's A Wolf Among Us, and Game of Thrones all in one package
Yeah,
for
What a
35.
deal.
Oh,
that was
amazing!
tremendous.
Yeah.
So Sunset
So
Overdrive, we're going to have to get a group going because I know Chinny has it. I know you have it. I have it.
yeah,
I'm trying to think of who else in the
I
community
think
has it.
Robin's got it, hasn't
I got it.
Oh, you did
you?
pick it up. See, you were the
Yep.
detractor, so I'm curious
Yeah.
to see what you think about that. Have you played it since?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get to you in a second,
So,
Robin. Sorry, I'm
Yep.
derailing Mark. I'm derailing Mark
yeah.
completely.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
out of all these
That
games,
Which one have
go
you
on,
played?
Robbie.
Sorry, just to talk about that big collection that you're talking about.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Fantastic value. Anybody that hasn't played any of those Walking Dead games, um, or The Wolf Among Us, what a fantastic deal! I've held off a bit. I'll play. I played one of the new ones. I'll talk about it in a little while here. But I probably will throw the money at that just to get them all again because it is even for the ones that I have already played fully. All the first two big game stories there. I think for the Game of Thrones and Tales of the Borderlands, it's still cracking value.
Yeah.
Still cracking value.
Uh,
So Mark,
Well, I'm going to chime in on that too. I actually had skipped all of the Telltale games, with the exception of the first season of The Walking Dead. So I picked this collection up on sale and just totally happy. And it was like it
oh,
justified
oh,
me for holding off.
Yeah. Well,
So
I've played two of them, Walking Dead season 1 and The Wolf Among Us. Um, but it's still worth it for me for the other three
oh yeah,
series, and
hmm
I'm gonna play the other ones again anyway because they're on next gen. So yes, cracking deal. £35 it was over here on UK money.
yep.
So
yeah.
for 5 season passes, which are normally about 16, 17 quid each, Robin, for the season pass.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Even when they're discounted, they go down to about 12. But,
Yeah,
normally, yeah, about 15, 16 quid.
yeah. And you've
So,
got
yeah.
five lots of games there, so it's brilliant. So all these games I got for Christmas, and all the time I've had off, I've only been playing Far Cry 4. That's all I've had time for. I've hardly been on the consoles at all. Um, for those who are not aware, my son's girlfriend's got two little kiddies, who we met earlier this year. So
Of
it's
course,
been our
Marcus.
yeah. So it's been our first Christmas with little kiddies again for quite a long time, and it's been so much fun and refreshment. And my wife's been over the moon with them, and it's been brilliant. So, as a consequence, I've had no gaming time.
Yeah.
But compromises, these things
And
happen.
you had some other great news as well, Mark, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I don't know if I'm supposed to
Okay.
announce that
All right,
publicly.
okay. All right, okay. All right, okay. Say no more.
It has been put on Facebook, so I suppose I am safe. My son and his girlfriend, well, fiance, should I say? Sorry, they're expecting their first child.
Granda.
She did a pregnancy test last week, and it was saying 2 to 3 weeks pregnant. So maybe a September baby. So I'm going to be a
Me,
proper
happy
real
days,
granddad,
wow.
and yeah, we're over the moon. We're really happy.
All right, have you
So.
gotten used to hearing the words granddad?
Oh, that's all we're here, Nana and Grandad. In fact, little Charlie's just gone 1 year old, and all he says is Nana, Nana, Nana. He hardly says Grandad or anything, but yeah, it's so cute. He says, I love it.
All you need now is a flat cap and a whippet.
Yeah, yeah, and a walking stick.
I think he's got it
Oh dear.
in the closet.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you buy anything else from the sales? What else did you buy? You bought that and you
I
what?
I actually picked up last night Lego the movie game. It was only £10
Yeah, yeah,
something.
I seen that.
That is 54.99 on the PlayStation Store. And I love my Lego games, but I've not played that one because I've never seen the movie yet. I've got the movie on DVD, but
Oh
I've not seen
goodness,
it
movie,
yet.
great, Mark. It's great,
Yeah,
it really is.
yeah.
And we
But I've
have
heard
that.
it spoils the movie, doesn't it? The game.
I
So I
don't
never
know.
wanted to. I never
Yeah.
wanted to play it before the movie. But yeah, I
My
picked it
kids
up
have
now.
that. My kids have that movie on all the time. I think the game is a sort of a slightly watered down Lego game, but it's still good fun. We have it here on disc, and I had really considered, well, I'll buy that at a tenner because they always have it, and I can sell the disc and get my money back again. And
Yeah,
I'll probably, I don't, was that only a 1 day thing, was it? Or I wonder if it's still on.
I'm not sure. I'm
Hmm.
not sure if it was a one
Damn
day.
it.
I don't
Remember a
know.
couple of years ago they said that there was no way on this earth that you would ever buy cheap games on consoles.
Oh,
Well, Jesus, they've got us now
yeah.
by the short and curlies.
They're getting
It's getting
smart.
like Steam, isn't it? Yeah.
So
We're gonna end up with games we've never played and never gonna play.
how was Far Cry 3 or 4?
Oh yeah, I played that, didn't I? It's brilliant. I love it. If you've played Far Cry 3, it's more of the same, but prettier looking, better effects, a bit more things to do. It's got another humorous intro with that pagan Min, whatever the guy is called. It's everyone's seen it on the sort of like the trailers, haven't they? Where the guy stops the bus. But it's a really good start to it. I'm not that far into it, to be honest.
Okay.
Uh, I've got about 4 towers unlocked, which is similar to the Far Cry 3 the towers where you unlock them to see the general area, clears the fog. And some of them are easy, some of them are hard to get to. Some of the animals, they're really fun to sort of like mess about with, but you do die a lot from the animals. Especially the bloody eagles. The eagles attack you like crazy, and they just come out of nowhere. They just swoop down, and then they'll just take your head off or whatever. Yeah. But the elephants, there's a perk you can unlock. Excuse me, with the elephants where you can actually ride them, and then you can click in the left thumbstick to charge or the right thumbstick to bash, and you can flip vehicles over while the enemies are in them and all sorts. It's really good fun. There's that little chopper thing as well. Have you seen that on the videos? It's like a little
The little
like a
chopper?
micro,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like a micro helicopter thing. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. But I don't know if it's the way the game's restricted it, but I seem to stall it a lot. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to go too high with it.
I have
Um,
heard it does have a ceiling height, as in
right.
it'll stall out as it goes up, and it's by design. And I think they did that to limit how far up you could go.
Yeah.
But they did it under the guise of the helicopter couldn't go up that high. So
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
reminds me
But
of Little Nell from the Bond movie.
yeah. Money's quite easy to accrue in this game. You get money for killing bad guys and looting them, and for doing obviously missions and side missions. Um, and you need a lot of money because to get the better weapons, you get signature weapons. So you get like a more souped up version with more power and different scopes on and that. So I've managed to unlock a couple of decent weapons now, and that's making it a lot easier because it's not the easiest of games. You do take quite a bit of damage until you start unlocking your perks to increase your health bar and everything.
hmm.
But yeah, it's really good fun. And you've got the outposts again, like you had before in Far Cry 3. I've done a couple of them now. Um, they're just the easy ones at the moment with one alarm. So you've got to. The way I've always tackled it is I always take out the alarm first with a sniper rifle, and then proceed by either letting the animals out of the cage and letting them do all the dirty work for me, or just taking them off one by one with a sniper. It's good fun.
okay.
But in this game, in Far Cry 4, I've not come across one yet. I've seen it on the map, but there's fortresses. So I'm not sure what these are yet. I presume they're like a super hard, super bad guy heavy, like camp based thing, similar to the outposts. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. There's 4 of them in total, and each one's linked to like a main key bad guy in the game.
Okay.
So that's going to be interesting. So I'll go into detail on that when I tackle one.
All
Mm.
right.
Is there a
Yeah,
multiplayer mode like there was like a co-op thing before, Mark, as well?
but there is, yeah, and there's also competitive multiplayer. I've not actually played it yet, but I have heard a few guys say the multiplayer is really, really good. One of the G4TE guys, it's a zombie duck. Tom, he's played the multiplayer a lot, and he says it's really, really fun, and he likes it a lot. So, but yeah, I've still to try the multiplayer yet.
Mm.
But
That's
yeah,
definitely
that's
another pick.
that's about it for me. Far Cry 4, and that's it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I love three, so
Yeah,
I'll
if you
look
love
forward to
3, you're
that.
definitely gonna love 4, and it is
But
stunning.
again, there's just so many at the moment. That's the problem.
Yeah.
yeah. I definitely bought more games than I played over the holiday break. So I
Hmm.
will go next, and then Robin will
Mm.
go with you because I know you definitely played some games. Um, I got a little bit of the golf club in because of our challenge. So I threw that in and shot my round for the challenge.
Oh, that sounds so
Shot
rude.
your load.
I shot my round, not my load.
Oh dear.
Wait, yeah. Um,
Blue balls.
I,
Sorry.
that's okay. That's all right. Yeah, you know what? I love that game. It is not an easy game.
Too
Only
right.
from the. I mean, it's easy in that it's very straightforward golf, but it seems like it brings all the nuances of real golf into the game. So just the little slightest things, you flick your stick just a little bit off, and that's going to send your ball off, with a slice or a hook. Just like in real life, if you just tweak that golf club coming through just a little bit left or right, you're going to be, hooking or slicing your shot. Um, same thing when it comes to putting. You misjudge it and you give it too much power, you're going to go right past the hole. You know, leave, do too little power, and you're going to come short. So, yeah. But I
How
was
do
actually.
how do you know how much power to give it? Because there's no like in the sort of like the more sort of like basic golf games, you get like a power meter, don't you? But you
Right.
don't on this, do
Yeah.
you?
No, you don't. I find, and maybe there's a better way to judge this, but I mean, as hard as or stupid as this is going to sound, it's a bit of a nuanced feel for it. So you have to gauge how far away you are, and based on how far away you are, you're just going to have to start feeling out your controller and getting used to the resistance within your thumbsticks. That's in the best way I can explain how I have learned to putt within this game. I don't I never give it full power unless I know I'm way far away in terms of a putt. A good probably 30 feet out. If it's a 30-foot putt or something like that, then I'm going to give it a good whack. But yeah, I don't have a better way to explain that. And maybe that is one of the shortcomings of the game. But quite honestly, I love it. I love when I feel like I just didn't give it quite enough power, or I came up just a little bit, gave it too much, and I'm like, if it doesn't hit the hole, I'm going to go sailing right past this thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I've noticed the actual speed you flick the right stick to do a swing, that also has an impact.
mm-hmm.
If you do it slowly, it just taps it, but if you do it faster, it hits it harder.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a lot of
Really,
influences.
I picked this up as well over Christmas, and um, there's really no hand holding. You go to play around, and there you are. You're playing around,
Right.
and I was looking for that power meter that I've got so used to over the years with golf games. It's been such a long time since I played one. So I played the first 9 holes and thought I powered the first hole. I thought, oh, this is not so bad. And after the front nine, I think it was plus 28 or something like that. There, it got to the point where the commentator had stopped telling me how far over par I was. The commentator, I suppose, I heard people saying he was very annoying, but I actually think
It's quite
it's all right.
sarcastic, isn't it?
No,
Yes,
I love the
A bit of a
commentator.
condescending
yeah,
twat,
Yeah.
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, if anything, I wish they would have given him a few more lines because some of them are quite good.
Yeah.
There are times where you hit the ball and he'll be judging it based on your initial strike, and he's like, oh, that's looking good, it's looking good, and then you wind up in a little bit of the rough, and he's like, well, I was off on that one. And you can't always be right. So, little things like that, but he says it in such just a natural way.
I know, but when he says, and it's in the water, and you're heading for the water, and you're heading for the water. And when you hear that 8 times, either you're playing it really, really badly, or he's starting to get annoying. I can't work out which is which. It's probably that I'm playing really, really badly.
Yeah.
You're heading for the water. Oh, it's in the water. It's going for the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bastard.
One problem with the game though is, especially when you get into either custom courses or courses that have deep cliffs, where they aren't necessarily designed. Designed properly so that you can get stuck. A prime example is I hit a ball, I shanked it off to the right, it went down into this ravine, and I was in this ravine and just completely stuck with the geometry of where my ball was sitting. I literally was trying to turn around and hit the ball into the water because I could not, in any way or direction, hit the ball up and out. And the game doesn't give you a mechanic to, in a sense, kind of pick up the ball and take a stroke penalty type thing. And that would have been, and I suppose maybe that's because you can't really do that in the PGA, but I would have loved that option at that point. Just be like, okay, I am picking up the ball and I will take a stroke penalty because I physically cannot play this ball where it lies.
Do you know if Nicole was here right now, she would not stop laughing. She just couldn't stop it. You're talking about shanking and twiddling with your sticks, and playing with your balls, and taking a free drop. Yeah. Oh, Nicole.
Such a dirty
Talking
mind.
talking of Nicole, she's actually in the Twitch chat at the moment. Along with we've got Teflon 12, we've got PG Tips, we've got Rel Moria, we have got Fumu. Yeah, the curling legend that is Fumu is here in the chat.
Curling legend.
Yeah, but I noticed he couldn't use that excuse again this week because you can only use that excuse once, can't you? It can never be used
Who was
again.
it that said last week, I hope he gets the cold from his ice? Who said that last week?
That was me. And sure enough, you got
So it's all your fault, Greg.
Overseas Connection podcast curse. I smiled when I saw that tweet from him, by the way, when he shot that message off. It made me happy. I felt warm inside. So golf club. Played some of that. Also got in some time with the Master Chief Collection. Single player wise, I'm still playing through some of the Halo 2 Anniversary Edition. I gave up on the library. I will revisit it just because I didn't have the patience. Just
Are you playing on heroic?
Yeah.
Have you nerfed it down?
No,
yeah,
I was
hard.
sticking with it. So I was just like, you know what? I'll take a step back. I'll go play some other stuff. I mean, God knows there's plenty of other single-player missions within this collection I can play. So, and I wanted to check out the Anniversary 2 edition and see what they had done and the updated graphics, that kind of thing. And that game is impressive. As many problems as this game has had for the online stuff, all that good stuff, the single-player remake for Halo 2 Anniversary, the CGI cutscenes are just amazing.
Just beautiful. Yeah. What's the name of the company that did those? It was, I forget. They're just fantastic. I'm sure somebody's done it. I haven't looked on YouTube, but I'm sure
Only we
somebody's
had a
stitched them all
device we could
together.
look up who did that. If only.
Oh. Well, nah.
But yeah, no, it's well done.
There's an interesting documentary on the Halo channel on Xbox One, which they go through the procedures and what they did to actually make that anniversary edition. So it's really quite interesting. It's good. It's a good watch.
Watching, yeah.
In fact, there's two documentaries worth watching when it comes to Halo. Again, you talk about milking a situation. Microsoft definitely has made the most of this. There's the Halo 2 Anniversary Vidoc, which you're talking about, Mark. There's also a series of videos. They're about 20 minutes each, and I want to say there's 5 episodes. And God, now the name of it's going to escape me. It's something like the race to the beta or something like that. But basically, it's them preparing Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer, and they're prepping it for the beta launch. And so they have a series of 5, I believe it is, like 20-minute little video documentaries of them beta testing it with the pro players, talking about how they make the different maps and what they're going in, all the little nuances they put into it. Really, really well done. Very interesting stuff, and I just sat and watched that instead of playing games a couple nights. So
Yeah, there's a nice touch there as well. I don't know if you have it in the news. I don't think so. About they're going to give us ODST and some multiplayer maps free of charge because of the kerfuffle over all of the multiplayer issues.
yes, I
So
forgot. Yes, we didn't talk about that. I don't know if we talked about it last time or not, but yeah. So ODST, and they're doing a remake of. Oh, the map has escaped me, but they're doing a remake of one of the an additional Halo 2 anniversary map. They're going to do a remake for. So they're giving us ODST. Disappointing news out of that is that it doesn't appear they're going to be giving us Firefight. I would love to see that as a surprise announcement because I loved Firefight in Halo ODST.
yeah,
So
I heard it talked about this week that they're saying, "Oh God, they don't want to have another thing that requires network
yeah,
connections."
yeah, no, and I
Um,
understand that. But it's a great little windfall because certainly I
well,
wouldn't have expected them to do
well,
the
I
whole
suppose
game.
now we can expect in 6 months' time we can expect Reach to be part of that package as well. I'm sure they didn't want to really give this away for free. I'm sure this was going to be downloadable DLC at a later stage. So,
You
but I would
know,
say Reach will come.
I've heard people talking about it and a couple different ideas behind that or thoughts behind that. One was certainly yes, this was the plan all along that they were going to put out ODST. However, from the timing of everything and what it sounds like, is that ODST is actually just in the very beginning stages of being worked on.
Mm.
So this may not really have ever been part of the plan, and they just decided, you know what, we can do it easy enough. We know that this is the most asked for remake, and we'll just do the single player, and that will satisfy, or hope to satisfy people. So,
I seen. Did you played some of the Guardians beta, didn't you?
yes, so that's probably the other piece we should talk about.
Yeah.
Got in a nice little session the other day. Once the next wave of the beta kicked up, because I was part of the preview beta, and
Mm.
then they launched it again on the 29th. And being more familiar with it this go round, I have to say I love what they're doing with Halo 5 Guardians for the
Oh
multiplayer side
well.
of it. Yeah.
Okay, I only played one round and got my ass handed to me in a hat
Yes,
and
so that was me the
ran
first time.
away.
Yeah, the first time I mean I was like going 0 and 12, 0 and 15, and I mean I was just like holy crap. I didn't understand anything. Because you're going into this beta, unfortunately, there's no tutorial, there's no way of knowing kind of how the new powers work. But one of the things I did was I did remap my controller, and I remapped it perfectly honest, more of a Call of Duty style way, only because I know now that they're doing aim down sights. I figured it makes sense for me to put this into a configuration that I'm used to and not so much a Halo configuration. And once I did that, and I remapped a little bit about how the power-ups get used and my crouch, it made a world of difference for me. Just having a blast playing this. And the other thing I learned very quickly, and this is so different from Call of Duty or other games, is in Halo Guardians, you really can't lone wolf. It is a surefire way to get yourself just obliterated, especially against other teams of people that are playing together. This is a game of traveling in hunter packs is the absolute best way for you to have success. And so the second go around, once I started playing up in the beta, I was much more cautious and not just trying to sprint out and go out on my own. I was making sure I was with other teammates and we were trying to work together, whether it be to hold control power points or just roaming hallways together as opposed to going it alone. And that really made a big difference.
That'll be interesting in groups like ours. PG Tips in the chat has said that there was a new map and a mode came out today for the
Yes.
Halo 5 beta, which is called Breakout, he thinks. And you have one life per round.
Yes.
a real Gib Fest sort of thing. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, and the
Uh,
rounds play over really quick, so
hmm.
it's instead of just getting 50 kills, it's winner of round one, winner of round two, winner of round three. So it's in a sense kind of last man standing, but it's a series of matches, that make up the actual game mode.
When is it due out? It'll be late. It'll be
I'm sure it'll be November.
holiday 2015. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I would bet money on November.
How long's the beta running for? Do we know?
January 18th, I believe, is the last day.
All right. Oh, so it's quite a long one then. So that's
Yeah,
good.
it's
So
longer.
I've not had
Yeah,
a chance to play it yet. I've downloaded it, but I've not played it yet.
yeah. Well, maybe this weekend we can actually stop doing life and play some video games. Uh, but yeah, so the power ups definitely make a difference, and I love the dash power. Um, it definitely changes things up a lot. In some ways, similar to Call of Duty and how it works there. But I feel like the dash in the Halo 5 multiplayer it feels quicker, more responsive than it does in Call of Duty. Um,
Oh, wow.
so for
Okay.
those that are using it in Call of Duty and make you can make some comparisons. But yeah, it has been some welcome changes, and I think Halo needed some change. They needed to do something to the formula to try and bring people back. So
Yeah. Well, it can't. Things have to move on. It can't stay the same iteration every single time.
yeah,
So,
I know
I'm,
traditionalists
I'm
wanted it to stay the same,
mm, yeah.
but
Well, that's why they've got the Master Chief connection, so they can play Halo 2 the way they want it. So,
yep.
oh,
Well,
very good.
assuming they can play it.
Well, lots of exciting things ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, no, are not most of the multiplayer things are ironed out now, aren't they? It is
Pretty
it
well.
is,
Yeah,
is
no,
what.
no, no. They
Yeah,
have been. I've actually been able to jump in and play multiplayer since the last patch, and it all seems to be working, relatively well. Every once in a while, it might take a little bit longer than normal to find a match, but I have yet to have a situation of I could not find a match after waiting, as long as maybe a minute. That was probably the longest I had to wait, but I, was able to find a match. So. Um, Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know what to say about that other than it was a very ambitious project that they put together, and probably, in retrospect, maybe too ambitious, and they should have maybe, given a little more care to it. Um, Outside of
Yeah.
that, I have played the exciting game of order furniture and put it together. Now this is one that it's got
That's the
collectibles.
flat pack simulator.
Yes, it has collectibles, things like missing screws and other neat things like doesn't quite fit together the way you thought it would. Um,
You
so
need
yeah.
to buy accessories as well, like screwdrivers and drills.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been that. Make sure your batteries are charged for your power drill. You know.
So, I mean, is this? Oh, wow! There he
Yep,
is,
yep, yep.
power tools in hand, from a golf club to a power tool. Is it IKEA? Is it
So
IKEA
there
sort
was a
of
little bit. There was a little bit of
following the
IKEA.
line there?
Yeah, IKEA
Because
came
I,
to play. That was my first part of my honeydew list. We bought some furniture for my son's room, so I had that. But then I bought myself a new office setup. So I now have a big old office desk and space. And then I mounted
more,
my main computer monitor now is mounted on the wall on a swivel mount, so I can get it off the desk and out of my way.
just
So
like Anchorman. You're just like Anchorman.
kind of.
Yeah. I love IKEA stuff. I think goes back to loving Lego as a kid. I just love putting all that stuff together. I'm like a kid
IKEA,
in a sweet shop.
it is amazing how well thought out the whole kit thing is for them because I mean, you get to IKEA, and for those who have never been to IKEA, one, um, it is something to behold because the main stores, and I'm assuming this is the same for all IKEAs, but it is a
Yeah,
maze
it's a
that,
rat run. Yeah,
and they make it
the
virtually
funnel you through.
impossible
Yeah,
to find
Yeah.
the exit.
Over the years, I've worked out the shortcuts in the Belfast
Yeah.
branch. Yeah, I can go straight to those Swedish meatballs before you can say the Swedish meatballs.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
but the funny
straight
part
through.
is, so
Yeah.
they have the cafeteria, which again they have Swedish meatballs, which are incredibly delicious, and ultimately dirt cheap. So it's like you have to go. It's like
Mm.
you're almost wasting money by not going and eating lunch there. But what I noticed is they have escalators going up into the cafeteria area and the main entrance for the upper deck, but you cannot. There's no easy way to go back down to the front
No
entrance.
way. No.
The escalators only go in one direction. There are
Yep.
no stairs down to the front entryway, not even an elevator. All the elevators and all of the other stairwells that go down actually take you back down to the other showroom, which is blocked off and not you can't get to the front entrance. You literally have to go through the entire store to get out, one way or another. Um,
We have Christmas decorations all around the house, and you know when the kids, you get the pieces of paper and you stick it together into little loops and make a little streamer type
mhm.
thing. Well, we went in and we stole a couple of thousand of the measuring tapes, paper measuring tapes, and we have IKEA streamers all around the house. And the pencils, we've got the pencils. They went into our homemade Christmas crackers. It's cracker. It really, really is, and a cheap way to do Christmas. Go to IKEA for that.
Uh, yeah, no, and lastly, the warehouse area, and I'll get off my IKEA rant. The warehouse area is again, it's just amazing. You get out there and it's all you pick your own stuff, pull your own stuff, and you take it up to a register. But it's all so organized and so just by the numbers, which I mean, literally, that is their system. It's go to aisle 18, bin 4, aisle 17, bin 2, and 1 of 2, and 2 of 2, and everything is labeled. So it's like if you're missing parts, either somehow it was not manufactured properly and they somehow left it out, which I've never experienced that in an IKEA product yet, or you just flat out did not see the things in front of you for where you were supposed to pick up stuff. But
My problem is I
is
build things backwards. So I get,
ah
oh, I'm almost 90% finished, and then I realize, Jesus freaking Christ, I've got to take this all apart again because I put the door on the wrong side, or, oh, I read the instructions upside down. Anyway, IKEA,
yeah, IKEA
meatballs. In
meatballs.
fact, I had to do a dash this week because there's a lovely product they used to have in America when we were in Florida last. They are it's like a tube of cinnamon rolls,
Ah,
and you break open the cardboard tube
yep.
and you cut this slice up and you put it with, well, they're not freely available over here. Some supermarkets will do them. You have to search them out. But we'd heard that IKEA do like a frozen version of the cinnamon
Yeah,
roll
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So over Christmas I had to go and pick up 6 packs of those for my kids are just addicted to them on Christmas. So yeah, so that was my dash to IKEA this week for cinnamon rolls. So
Yeah, so
anyway,
we have them by the droves out here. Pillsbury is probably the biggest one that makes them, but I know like Cinnabon is starting to do them. I know IKEA has it there, but I mean in our markets out here, you pretty much every market out here carries them. So now
video games.
now I know what I get to give you for Christmas.
Yeah, cinnamon rolls.
3 week old like molding cinnamon roll set from the United States.
Yeah, well, we'll be picking out those. We're in Florida at Easter time. We definitely will. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, yeah, so that was me, and I guess that brings us to you, Mr. Tate.
Okay, well, I mean, there's quite a few things on my list. I know we don't usually do that, but there's some things I just touched on. So things that I played from start to finish over the last 2 weeks. Telltale, Tales from the Borderlands, and I'd heard good things about it. I wasn't quite sure how interesting a Borderlands world in a Telltale style of gameplay would be, or just like Walking Dead.
Right.
But I have to say, the characters and the way they've done this is both really interesting and very, very humorous. And I've bought into that world already. No spoilers, but you're playing as sort of two characters telling a story of a thing that happened. It's like a guy and a girl, and you're the story of the first episode sort of tells it from the guy's perspective and the girl's perspective, and you can imagine they don't quite match
yeah.
up at the humorous effect. Where some of the previous games were more about just sort of watching and pressing the odd button, no action. There's towards the end of this first episode, there's an awful lot of action. It's very exciting. So I give that a big, big thumbs up. Tales from the Borderlands. I can't wait till the next episode comes, and I will buy that big pack now just to to buy into that and get them all. So it's very good. The music, look, I think as it was Jasper Thingamabob. Yes, well educated me. He done the music. He done the music again.
You're not on
So
about
it's
my
very
dog, are you?
very very atmospheric again, and yeah, very good. And it's nice to play a telltale game that doesn't jerk and stutter and pause like it did on the PS3 and 360. So yeah, that's good. Thumbs up for me for that. The other game that I completed this week, whoops, Mario Kart 8. Not that you play all of the tracks. I've been going through and trying to 3-star all of those. Such a fun game. We played it with the kids quite a bit, but as I said to Mark earlier on, even though I've had nearly 2 weeks off, I've had very, very little gaming time because the main consoles down here have been taken up by the kids. So I moved the Wii U to the front room, and I played most of this on the gamepad rather than on the screen, while other people were watching the telly in the other room. So the Wii U is good for that. In fact, I would say that the big screen's pretty pointless with that cracker little gamepad when you're playing stuff like that. So Mario Kart 8, brilliant. We have a great party fun with it. And the other Wii U game I played this was Pikmin 3. And I've
Yeah.
played the first sort of hour or so of it, and it is so cute. I played it on the GameCube years ago, and it was great then, and it's fabulous now. I mean, it is so cute and beautiful. It's starting pretty much similar to the GameCube version of it,
Right.
but the gamepad works extremely well. There's times that it tells you look at the gamepad, look at the TV. There are certain things that it switches and works. The system works very, very well, and you use the stylus to select the characters. So if you have Pikmin is a game where you're sort of stranded on a planet and you have to try and put your spaceship together or find your friends, and all these little Pikmin little characters are little, like, I don't know, they're like vegetables, like radishes, that walking radishes.
I hate radishes though.
Yeah, well, like walking radishes, and you sort of sort of put a loop around them, like Red Alert and that sort of type of game, or
Like an RTS type thing.
yeah, like an RTS type thing. You can select them with the stylus, and they follow you around, and they help you solve sort of the puzzles with that. So I'm looking forward to playing more of Pikmin 3. Okay, so yes, golf club. I played that first 9 holes, and like a good golf game. Haven't played one in years, so I'm looking forward to taking part in the G4TE tournament.
Yeah.
And the other game that I played was Sunset Overdrive. Before I get to the best game at the end, Sunset Overdrive. Now,
Which arguably that's actually the best game.
now you know what my feeling was on Sunset Overdrive.
Yes.
I played it at Eurogamer in London and didn't really get on with it that well.
Why do I have a feeling that this might be the same sentiment?
No, it's not. No. So I started playing it and really enjoyed it, and I think I tweeted out that yeah, actually, I'm having lots of fun with Sunset Overdrive. My problem is I got to the point where I went through the initial piece and made my character and went through the first bit, and then there's this sort of part where you have to hold off this area where the other monsters are starting to come in. The first
Yeah.
sort of big battle.
Yeah, it's kind of their hard mode for
Yeah.
the single player though.
So I failed in my first attempt, and I went, frig this. I'm away. I have to do something else, Christmassy. And I went back to it a few days ago, and maybe it was because all the kids were in the room, but I'd almost completely forgotten all the controls again. So I may go right back to the very beginning. I find the jump off the line, grind on the line, jump off the line, grind off the line. It's like, and I try to keep on thinking to myself, well, don't think about the monsters, think about the environment, be at one with the environment.
Right.
And I'll just keep on reminding myself of that in 2 or 3 hours' time, this is going to become lots of fun. I haven't got to that point yet. It's interesting enough. It's good. It's colourful. What I've done is I've nerfed the gore and nerfed the bad language.
Okay.
So it beeps it out, so I can play it around the kids,
All right.
and maybe they can play it as well. I don't know how much adulty stuff is in it when that's nerfed like that. Um, but lots of people are saying that they love it, and I've seen on the victories achieved that quite a few people have completed it and loved it. So I've got to give it its time. I've got to give it the 6 or 8 hours before I
See,
can turn around and say I'm too old for this.
yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe how I came to just love the control scheme, and I think it was as I was playing it. Initially, I struggled because I was, you know, I don't want to grind on the rails. I'll just go on foot and I'll shoot things from foot. You can't
Mm.
do that. You will die within minutes doing that because the game, while it won't say openly, it is absolutely geared and nerfed in such a way that if you are on foot, you will die. It is almost impossible to play this game on foot versus being on the rails and grinding and platforming continuously. So once you get up on the rails and once you start earning your kind of your amps, which feed into kind of your superpowers, and that's the best way I describe this game is you actually are playing a superhero in this environment. Um, and so you have to grind the rails and use the environment and understand that you're not just limited to being on the rails. That you can jump and bounce off car roofs and car hoods and or bonnets. Sorry for those in the
Mm.
UK. You can jump off
Yeah.
treetops and bushes. Anything and everything potentially is a platform area for you to continue your movement and continue building up your amps. And so, once you also get comfortable with the notion of you can just make passes on groups of enemies. So, you're going down the rails and you see a group of enemies down there and you start shooting at them and they start freaking out and they start coming after you and you've gone past them because you've been grinding the rails. Yeah, just reverse direction and go back towards them. And feel free to jump down and bounce off cars and do some there's some power slam moves that you can do, and probably the most important thing, and this is one thing I wish they would have done earlier on, is you have to earn the air dash. Once you unlock air dash, which is a power ability you'll get later on, which I think it's going to be on your right bumper, it basically gives you the ability to, in a sense, kind of just leap forward in the air, like I don't know, 50 feet or so,
Mm.
maybe 100 feet, and basically, so it's like a
Isn't that
superhero move.
that sort of God damn it, Saints Row Saints
Yeah,
Row,
yeah,
yeah, that
yeah,
sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah. So you
Okay,
can
cool.
bounce off a car, and let's say you see a ledge in front of you, but it's too far away for your bounce to get you there, and you just hit the air dash, and you'll get
No,
yourself there.
for the sake of the people that have completed it and said they've loved it, I will keep at it and I will force myself to have fun with it. Okay, the game that I have spent the most time with this week.
Right?
Damn you, Fraser Moores. Damn you. Clash of Clans. I'm sorry. This is an iOS game. I think it's on Android as well. I'm part of the cult of Canadians. We're fighting. Fumu has set up a new war to happen tomorrow evening with France G4TE.
Oh, so
We
now we
beat
hate France.
we beat Ukraine last week, just about, with no help to me. And I have to say, I cannot stop checking my phone to upgrade my next little guy or my wall, or how do I upgrade that? Do I upgrade those soldiers first, or do I do the walls next, or what do I get next? Or there's a battle tomorrow. I can't do anything. It's going to take 2 days. Um, so it's also a very, very dangerous game.
Did you
And I
spend
thought
money?
long and hard about talking about this tonight, but it's very dangerous to health. So one of the places that I would play Clash of Clans would be in the water closet. Okay, and I was playing it maybe for just too long. Day before yesterday, on the water closet while seated,
Right.
and when I tried to stand up, my legs had gone funny with pins and needles. I stood up and stood on an empty shampoo bottle, went over, swiped a mirror off the wall, swiped all the toothbrushes off the sink, twisted my ankle, and now my ankle is bandaged up and bruised and swollen to hell.
Damn that Fraser. It's all Fraser's fault.
So, while playing on the toilet, do not play for more than 5 minutes.
For the record, can we just advocate do not play on the toilet, period?
Dear me.
I think this
So,
is something we teach our kids early on in life, Robin, if I'm not mistaken, is do not play on the toilet.
So, I've told Judith that I fell coming out of the shower.
Smart,
Because,
right?
yeah,
She would take away your game.
because I don't think I would live it down if anybody else knew. Not that I wouldn't tell this to anybody.
Right.
This
Well,
is a very
just by all
private
means,
thing.
tell the world.
Oh, tell the whole podcast. So yeah, I fell off the loo while playing Clash of Clans and probably broke a bone in my foot, and I'm refusing to go to the hospital because I don't want to admit to what I did. Anyway, Clash of Clans is such an addictive little game. It's fabulous, and there's a great little team going on there. And
So
yeah.
I have a quick side story on Clash of Clans.
Thank God it wasn't the toilet.
No, not involving toilet at all. So
Greg's just Gary Baril Defoe's just put I'm listening to this on the toilet.
as long
Sorry,
as you're
Greg,
not
carry on.
playing on the toilet, Gary, as long as you're not playing on the toilet. There are commercials for this game out in the US. I don't know if you guys have them out in the UK or not, but TV
Yeah, for
adverts.
some, yeah.
I actually saw this game quite some time ago on a TV advert, but I never put two and two together. And the other day, it's been increasing. They've been doing a lot more advertising of late on some of the channels that I watch, and and I'm watching it, and I'm like, son of a bitch, that's Clash of Clans.
Yeah. I think they've been advertising it's the same developer, but a new variant on it. I've seen adverts there over Christmas time.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
Looks very similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, it's great fun. It is good fun, and it's frustrating.
It looks
and,
like great fun in those TV commercials.
Yeah, and it is one of those things that you can flick it up on your phone and set your little builders away to do something, and then come back a few hours later, and they've done something. You've earned some money, or someone's attacked you, and you get your revenge going back to them again. And the little group of about 30 people in the clan at the moment are very helpful.
Yeah.
You know, if you ask for advice or help, and they're getting it. Apart from Fraser, he just likes to keep all information to himself.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been up to. Apart from one final thing, we've been accused this week already in the chat if this was an Xbox podcast, but Clash of Clans isn't Xbox. But as I said on the chat, that the Xbox One is where all the good games are at the moment. So that's kind of why we were talking about those.
We got some PC love in here.
Yeah.
You know, we got some
My
multi-platform. Some
Yeah,
Mario
my Far Cry
love.
4 was on PS4.
Yeah, the other thing that I've done this week with my son is I've ordered the first component parts to a mega PC gaming rig.
Mega PC.
So mega. So we've ordered a super Fandango 200 odd quid case, and the motherboard has been ordered, and where I'm teaching my son about money. So this is mainly going to be his PC. So he's saving up his pocket money and his bits Christmas money and buying the components
Robin.
as he goes. And,
Robin, I believe your
and,
son would like you to teach him about credit cards.
So yeah, I'm quite excited. The motherboard has arrived. The case is going to be a couple of weeks.
Awesome.
So we'll probably have some sort of rig here. It'll be Easter before it's finished because I'm not just going to throw money at it. I
Right.
could, but that would be just spoiling the boy. Even though I would love to do it, because for me, I want to play Elite. I want to play Elite, and this is why I'm all for this. So yeah.
All right.
So PC has been ordered for the house, or parts of PC.
Okay.
That's me.
Awesome. All right. Well, let us move on. We've got a few headlines. Not enough to do a news quiz, but I thought I'd throw out a few of these stories. So I don't really like to talk about all of the hack stuff and give these idiots any more time than they deserve. However, this story I felt I'm okay with talking about this. And that was the headline that we have here, of course, is Lizard Tard gets nicked by the police. But according to the Daily Dot and the
Thames.
Thames
River
Valley
Thames. Yep.
police report, law enforcement arrested one of the supposed Lizard Squad group members, Vinny Omari. It was on December 29th. He wasn't arrested for the gaming network hacks themselves, but apparently he was stealing PayPal accounts. Again, a fantastic member of society being arrested by the police. Bravo. He said that they hadn't pressed any formal charges against him yet, as they had released him out on bail, but they had confiscated all of his computing devices, storage devices, all basically for evidence, and most likely they are trying to figure out or see if they can't maybe identify some other members of the hacking squad. I do know the FBI had also said that they are looking into another supposed member on their end, so they haven't given any details.
There was an interview on the Sky News website where they'd interviewed one of this alleged Lizard Squad members, and he had like an American or Canadian accent, definitely North America sort of area, and he was trying to justify why they did it, but his reasonings were just pathetic, really.
Was this the kid that had gone on camera, correct?
Yeah. That's one I posted in the WhatsApp chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a whole one of the most popular YouTube guys had interviewed some guy from We Are Anonymous, and the other one, the Lizard Squad guy, and there's another name of another hacking group, and they're all chatting, and it was just pathetic. And Kim.com was on there as well, and just, you know what, it done my bloody nut in. It was ridiculous. If they were trying to point out the weaknesses in a network, how selfish could those little scumbags be to do this over Christmas? When people were trying to have a fun time with new systems and all that there, it was horrible.
Well,
in the middle of the year, they might have had a wee bit of sympathy vote somewhere down the line for pointing this out. But at Christmas time, it was bloody awful. Disgusting.
So my quick response to that is, one, these guys aren't hackers. DDoS attacks are not a hack. They're not actually infiltrating the systems.
It's just bombarding them with traffic.
Right,
really?
just bombarding them with traffic. And to be perfectly frank, they said they were doing this on Christmas Day probably because they knew that was the one day that their attempts might actually amount to something, because there was so much other traffic. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
Gross.
Again, I don't want to give it any more time than it deserves. I'm happy to see one of them getting arrested. I hope we see more. And, they're small-time idiots. So,
yeah.
Hopefully
the
they'll
DDoS
have a
attack on the G4TE.com site was more prevalent than that. We lost our traffic. We lost our site for a day or so there because of stupid traffic coming from plunkers in China and all over the place. So.
No, actually,
Russian and China and bots and stuff. Yeah.
No, I think we actually cleared that up. That was Dorian downloading porn. That was completely different. All right, next story. Microsoft is boosting the CPU power of the Xbox One. Over the Christmas break, the hacking group Halt leaked the November 2014 Xbox One development tools. It was a firmware documentation giving a fascinating insight into the evolution of the console since its inception. But one of the big reveals to come out from this was that Microsoft is opening up an additional core that they had previously not given to developers. So they're now going to have a 7th core to use towards game power. So it'll give it a little bit more processing power.
So what was this core used for originally then? Did they just keep it in back of Phil Spencer's pocket? But, oh yeah, there you go. I forgot about
that. Yeah.
No. Your Xbox One came with a key, and you put it into the side, and nobody knew what it was for. But there's a little slot on the right hand side beside the light, and you put it in, and you turn it 3 or 4 times, and it's like clockwork, and it boosts the power inside it. So it's like a clockwork mechanism in there as well. And this is what it does. You have to keep on winding it up.
Or we don't know if Sony has reserved 2 cores or not. We believe they have as well. But when the Xbox One launched, they had 8 Jaguar cores in their CPU. 2 of them were actually held in reserve for the operating system. Microsoft has been refining the operating system a lot, and so each iteration they've needed less and less footprint, and to this, they finally got to the point where they're like, we don't need the extra core, we just need 1 core. So that's why they've opened up the 7th core to developers now to utilize.
I like the clockwork thing better. The Sony one is going to have a cuckoo clock pop out. You're going to have a wind up key in it, and a little cuckoo will pop out. Cuckoo.
Yeah. Well,
Every now and again.
speaking of Sony, PlayStation Plus users are going to get 5 extra days of PlayStation Plus. Yeah, Sony announced that they're giving an extra 5 days for the downtime that kind of came with the DDoS laden Christmas weekend, and they were a little slow to get things back up. So they said, hey, 5 extra free days for PlayStation Plus users, and they're extending out a 10% discount code towards purchases, I guess, during that 5 days, or is it just a blanket 10%?
I don't know. I'm hoping. Oh, it's the 10% code is going to be a one-off code, but
One-off
it's
code.
not just for one item. It's for everything in your shopping cart on that particular purchase.
Okay.
So if you're going to make a few digital download purchases, you want to wait for this code because obviously the more you buy, the more you're going to save.
Bravia
Now,
TV.
You'll be able to get
I'm hoping.
£5.50 off Lego game at 54 quid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping to use this code for March for the order 1886, but I don't know what the timescale is going to be on when this code's going to be valid. So fingers crossed for that. But yeah, I thought it was quite good of Sony to do this because it wasn't totally their fault. It was a combination of things like the DDoS attacks and obviously everyone else coming online on Christmas Day. It'd be interesting to see if Microsoft responds with anything. But having said that, Microsoft are only down for a day and a bit, whereas PlayStation was down for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's good of them to do it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And in other breaking news, Nintendo has come out and said that over the Christmas holiday, they did not have any network issues, and therefore they will be giving nothing for free.
Yeah, well, when I couldn't get onto my Xbox or the PS4, that's where I went to. I went to the Wii U.
Yeah.
And yeah, no bother. It's just amazing how horrible it is now that all those things that we didn't want, always on connection, that these systems can't really operate at all without a network connection.
Yeah, and for as much conversations as we had from the pre-launch of these systems about being DRM free from both sides of the fence, clearly
It's here.
the DRM is everywhere in these systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both Sony
I've
and
actually-
Microsoft. I mean, there's a lot being tied into.
Yeah, I've actually got a little bit of a story with that.
Okay.
Just before Christmas, we put in the WhatsApp chat that Valiant Hearts was on sale as well. This was on the PS4. It was only $3.99, and I know it was Robin's game of the year. So I thought, right, for $3.99, I'm going to take a punt on this. I'm going to download it. So I downloaded it, and then shortly after, that's when all the network problems started on Christmas Eve night. So I think it was Boxing Day. I thought, I've got a spare half hour. I'm going to just fire up this game and see what it's like. Could I play it? No, I couldn't. Why? Because there was a little padlock on it saying I've not verified I own the content because of a network connection issues. So until my PS4 had made an online connection to the server to verify I owned it, I couldn't play that for 4 days, which was a bit annoying because I'd actually bought it from the store, so I couldn't understand why it didn't think I owned it. So yeah. DRM, it's here and it's gonna get worse.
Probably. All right. Well, before we dive into our thoughts for my topic that I picked for us, we have some game trivia. So that means you two guys have game trivia. I do not. I like how this works. It always works in my favor. Thank you, Jason Johnson, by the way.
I was just going to say we've got some more Teflon excellent questions.
We do indeed. So those in the chat can play along, of course. I am going to start with Robin this time. First I'll read off Jason's email. He said, "Hi, OC crew. I hope you all had a great holiday and a happy new year. Here's some trivia for the show. Good luck and have fun. Jason Johnson, Teflon 12. Thank you, Jason. We love the trivia. Keep sending it. And anybody else who wants to send trivia, absolutely feel free. Just send a quick email to ocpodcast@gmail.com and or podcast@gmail.com, I should say. And sorry, did I say Gmail? I did. Podcast@G4TE.com. Dorian is like, he's just, I know, he's that numpty. Anyway, all right, so here is your first question, Robin Tate. Are you ready?
I'm just typing something in the chat here, but I'm ready now.
Glad to see you're paying attention. Yes.
Yep.
These are multi-choice questions. So
multiple guess. Okay.
Multiple guess. Yes. Which was our preferred trivia questions, although you may get a true or false or something like that at the end of this. But here we go. What American soccer player appears alongside Lionel Messi on the cover of FIFA 15 in North America? Which is perfect for you, because clearly you've seen this cover. He does give a hint. He was the captain of the U.S. team during the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Okay. Is it A, Clint Dempsey, B, Landon Donovan, C, Jermaine Jones, or D, Josie Altidore?
I don't know. If all else fails, choose C. C!
Wrong!
Nope. Is it A, Dempsey?
Yes! Yes! Good job, Mark.
It's only what I know.
Clint Dempsey.
It's only what I know.
Yes. Well done, Mark. Well done. All right.
Did you know that, Mark, or was that a guess?
Well, it's Dempsey's the only US, and Dempsey and Howard are the only ones I remember.
Yeah. For the record, all four of those players were U.S. soccer players in the World Cup this year. All right, Mark, your question. 343 Industries has promised players who have played Halo Chief the Master Chief Collection online will receive a free Halo game for the Xbox One in 2015. What game is it? Is it A, Halo Reach, B, Halo 3 ODST, C, Halo Wars, or D, Halo Spartan Strike, or E, Halo 5 Guardians of Fate?
Nojutsu.
This is a hard one, Miss. We haven't talked about this at all, have we? I don't know what. It might be Guardians, but I think it's ODST.
Yeah, the Guardians was, by the way, it was a red herring because I said Guardians of Fate, but there's no such game. Yes, Halo 3 ODST. Well done for the sweep. Well done, Mark. Well done, Robin. You can redeem yourself here. Name the game.
Before you do Robins, we've got a trivia question for you, Greg.
Ah, son of a bitch. And
this is from your best buddy, Gary.
Nemesis.
Let me just preference the answer with "fuck you, Gary."
It says, What does the Chargers and Lizard Squad have in common?
I go back to my original answer I just gave.
I said they both suck. Right, sorry, carry on.
All right, name the game. Back of the box. Robin, here we go. God, I hate you, Gary. Oh, yeah. All right, here is the back of the box quote. Robin, you have to name this game. All right, here we go. Live the life of Jodie Holmes, a young woman who possesses extraordinary powers through a psychic link to an invisible entity. Experience the most striking moments of Jodie's life as your actions and decisions determine her fate. As she traverses the globe, Jodie will face incredible challenges against a backdrop of emotionally charged events never before seen in a video game.
Oh, I know this game.
Can you name that game?
Yeah, I actually recorded the writer of it, the French guy. I got a message. I got him to a video message to Duke at Eurogamer year before last. God almighty. It's awful. It was PlayStation exclusive.
The best part is you're not looking at the screen.
Oh. That's true.
Mark is having a little fun at your expense. You didn't see it because you were looking away.
I don't have that type of screen now. Oh. Yeah, and there's this whole thing about her getting naked in the shower. And William Dafoe was in it. I can't remember. Is it a multiple guess?
No.
Give me the answers.
This is just a guess.
You must better say that.
He's trying not to.
can't-
He's trying not to cheat, Mark.
No, please help me cheat again. I can see you now. Show me the box, please. Oh, I guess I'm far too fast. Beyond good and evil. Beyond
Yeah, because that's the
Two
biggest
Souls.
writing beyond. Yeah.
Beyond Two Souls. Is that it? Yeah, well,
Oh my
Beyond Two
God!
Souls.
Well done, Robin.
Wow, thanks. I don't know how I got that one.
Yes, Beyond Two
I've had
Souls.
this. I bought this for £3 somewhere. I can't remember where it was, and I've never played it yet.
There's £3 well
Yeah,
spent.
well, when it says
Yeah.
from the developers of Heavy Rain on the front of it, it's a red herring, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was the guy, the developer? What's his name again? The French bloke.
Oh God. You
David Cage.
Yes, David
David
Cage.
Cage. Yes.
Well, he would prefer to make movies than video games.
Yes,
Interactive
indeed.
experiences.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for the trivia, Jason. Awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
thanks, Jason. Thank
Yeah,
you.
keep
Yeah,
it coming, Jason.
Yeah.
I
That's
won
good
that.
stuff. No. No, you did not, Robin. Mark, you know what? I'm giving you the clean sweep, Mark. You got the clean sweep. I'm giving you all 3 points and a
Yeah.
pat on the back for being a grandpa.
Yeah, thanks.
Because I mean,
It
it's
doesn't
amazing.
make me feel
Grandpas.
old,
How many grandpas do you know that know video game trivia? Seriously.
Yeah, yeah.
See?
Or I can
I'm a
remember it
cool.
anyway.
I'm a cool granddad.
You are a cool granddad. All right, just don't lose your hair over it.
I still live
All right. I thought we'd talk a little bit about some games coming up for Q1. There's not
Yeah,
bunch of big name games, but there are some pretty big ones out there. So, Mark, why don't I have you, Mark, you run down the list on this.
Yeah. So, games on the radar for Q1 of 2015. We've got Dying Light, which is coming to the Xbox One, PS4, and PC. We've got the big one for all the PC owners who've been waiting anxiously for this. It's Grand Theft Auto 5,
Yep.
or as the Game Punchers like to call it, GTAV.
Yep.
We've got Grim Fandango, the remake coming on PS4 and PS Vita.
Yeah, so on this one, and maybe we stop real quick before we'll have you read through each one as we talk about them individually.
Yep.
So backtracking real fast, Dying Light, I'm kind of curious. I don't know that this is one that's hugely on my radar. It seems like it's the first big release.
It's going to be a good one.
Is it?
It seems to
Yeah.
be dragging on a lot though, because they've been talking about it for quite a while, haven't they?
Yeah,
So I
they
keep
have.
seeing snippets of it. And it does look good,
Yeah,
and I do
played
like
bits
the
of it.
zombie games.
I've played bits of it over the builds of it over the last couple of years, and it is good. It's like, I don't know, zombie game with parkour in it. So yeah, it looks good fun. Yeah.
All right. So that's one to look forward to in January, I believe. Grand Theft Auto 5 for PC. I specifically put this in here for Mr. Webster, being our PC elitist, as well as Mr. Fraser Moores. I don't know if Fraser has any intent on picking up Grand Theft Auto 5, but I know Mr. Webster certainly is. The modding community is going to be fun to watch on this one, because no doubt they will be getting in and doing some crazy stuff with that.
Yeah, they'll be putting prostitutes and everything in it, won't they?
I know. It's amazing. Yeah, that's actually, you gotta, in some respects, Rockstar kind of takes the fun out of modding in Grand Theft Auto games because they throw
they do
so
it
much
all.
crap in there. It's like, it's already in there. Hey, we could do prostitutes. It's in there. We could shoot cats. No, it's in there.
The modding community is going to make things sensible, aren't they? Like have traffic lights what work and people stop.
Yeah. Grim Fandango. So this is it's a remastering, I think.
Yeah, so it's like a remake, innit? An up-res redo of an old. Is it a PS1 game or something? I've never played it, to be honest. I've heard of it, but I've never played it.
It's an old Tim
PC.
Schafer game. Yeah, Tim Schafer. I never played it first time around. I've heard all the hype, so I'm interested. So I'll pick it up.
I was never a big fan from back in the day, so I'm very muted on this one. And somewhat muted on Evolve, which is the other one. Sorry, Mark, I'm taking your job. I'll let you
That's
guide
fine.
this, Mark. You guide this. I will just shut up.
For those who don't know, thanks to Greg not saying anything, we've got Evolve coming in the first quarter on Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Yeah.
And personally, I know you got some of you guys are really excited about this, but this I don't know why, but this one just does not float my boat. I don't know why.
Well, I think the beta done it harm, or the alpha done it harm because there maybe wasn't enough meat on it, and people took it that that was a demo, and you had to really do it in a group of people that you knew to get the most out of it. The beta is coming out for Xbox only, I think, in January
Hmm.
sometime.
Yeah,
But again, at Eurogamer last year, Mark, if you remember, it was the darling of the show, and
yeah,
all of
well,
last
yeah,
year,
yeah,
it won every award. People saw something in it that was fantastic. So
yeah.
I think they've got a bit
And
of
they
work
do,
to do to win people over again.
yeah, and they do keep announcing new game modes for it, don't they? To keep people's interest peaked and to sort of like say it's not just a one-trick pony, because I think that's what a lot of people's worry is. Like it's
Yeah.
a one-trick pony, and people quickly get bored of it.
Well, that was
So
absolutely my fear, and still is
yeah,
to a large degree my fear. I mean, my height meter was way up here. I mean, above my head, and now it's kind of even. And I don't know what to make of this game at this point.
yeah.
Um, I don't know that I'll be there day one. I really hope it's good, but my faith in this being great has been pretty much diminished. Like Robin said, the beta, the alpha, didn't do it a lot of justice. So
Mhm.
anyway, continue on, Mark.
Then the best game of this quarter coming out is The Order 1886, which is a PS4 exclusive, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. I
Oh,
can't
I
wait for
hope
this
so,
game.
Mark. I hope
Yeah,
so because all the PlayStation guys are pinning their hopes on this
I
game.
know. Yeah, if this is a letdown, I will be crying for weeks and
Mm.
weeks.
You know what's funny? I don't know that they're pinning their hopes on this game anymore. I think there's another game coming in, and it's on this list that
Yeah,
actually has kind of gotten more support and more people behind it. And the Order 1886, I know a lot of people are excited for. It looks fantastic, but every report I have heard in terms of actual gameplay and the mechanics of it have not been very well. They just haven't been very good. Um,
The short level at Eurogamer, I really enjoyed that. It played well enough. So if the rest of the game's as good as that demo,
okay.
then I'll be really happy.
All right, maybe it's just
Yeah.
previewers being overly critical,
It
and
might be,
let's hope that is the case.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the fantastic and wonderful sagely Duke Scath Eric uses a term and he uses the word skeptical quite a bit. And
Hmm.
I think skeptical is a really, really good word for a lot of the games that are coming out next year. We we want them to be good, but we don't want to. They may be bad, but we want them to be good. We're skeptical about it. And I think with what we've had in 2014, skepticism is the key word. I think with a lot of games now about day one purchases. So
Hmm.
I hope it's good, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Fair enough.
This next game on the list, this is going to be massive with the track guys. I know they're all
Hmm.
really excited for this, and it's
Yep.
Project Cars,
Yeah.
and that's going to be on
Yep.
Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Yeah.
It's going to
It
be
needs to
interesting.
be.
This,
It needs to be a hell of a lot better than the demo that I played at
yeah,
Eurogamer.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
it was just okay. It was just all right. And I know they delayed it, but for me, I'm excited about that. So
yeah.
let's hope it's good.
You interested in that one, Greg?
I, skeptical.
Yeah,
Skeptical
me too.
only because the delay and some of the feedback from you guys that had actually got some hands-on time with it. Because originally I was super hyped for it.
Yeah,
Everything I had seen, it looked fantastic, and then suddenly people saying, "Well, it's okay," and then it got delayed, and those are all those signs of, you know, I I know there are people out there that talk about, it's better to delay a game than to release it, badly broken, that kind of thing, which I agree with. But also for me, it is never a good sign when a game comes out and has some kind of demo period or beta, and people come at it and say, you know what? it wasn't that great. It wasn't, it didn't live up to the hype, and
Mhm.
then it gets delayed. To me, those are the bad signs. Those are the signs of a game that is going to ultimately fail and not live up to expectation. And that's why Evolve, Project Cars, even the Order to an extent, all I think should be looked at with a degree of skepticism and
Well,
not
for me,
necessarily.
I mean, I love my racing things. I mean, my Forza 5 and Horizon, which, oh goodness, I
Mhm.
forgot about the ride. Jesus, I played all of these Storm Island DLC and completed all of the races in it over Christmas time as well. That was very, very good. Storm Island's brilliant, by the way, as DLC for Forza
Yes.
Horizon. Well
Yeah,
worth
it
the
is.
purchase. For me, Project Cars will be a stopgap. I hope it's good. It'll because I think Forza 5, as good as it is and all the problems that it is, and our community has really bought into it, and the track guys especially. But I think Project Cars will be a stopgap until the unannounced, but most likely coming either late this year or early next year of Forza 6, which will be the full version
Yeah.
of Forza 5.
And possibly
Uh,
Gran Turismo 6 or 7. What number are we on with
Yeah.
Gran Turismo?
We'll be on 7 the next
Yeah.
one. We've got
Okay.
6.
okay, all right.
Yeah, but I know
You know what's coming.
Smurf. Yeah, I know Smurftastic from the Track Guys. He played this at Eurogamer and he loved it, but he's like really into his sim racing.
Okay.
He's one of the better racers on Forza, and he's always on the top of the leaderboards and that. So I think if you like sim racing, it's more suited to them. I think. So it'll be interesting to see how accessible it is to like the average numpty racer like me and that. So see how easy it is to control and that. So yeah, it's one to watch out for, I
Mm.
think.
All right.
Then we've got Resident Evil Revelations 2, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, which is a bit confusing. And that's on Xbox One, 360, PS4, PS3, and PC.
Yeah. So to maybe clear up some of the confusion, this is Resident Evil Revelations 2, but they're releasing it episodically, and they're basically each week or each 2 weeks. I forgot which the timing is, but they're going to be releasing out an episode. And for me, um, I'm kind of excited about this to see how well they pull it off. Because episodic gameplay, when it's done right, I think is great as long as the episodes come out quickly enough. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about this.
Yeah.
Never a
Um,
fan.
I,
Was
I
never a
played
fan of
the
Resident.
original. Yeah, I played the original on PS1 and I loved
Hmm.
that. And that was the first game I ever completed, I think, if I remember
Right.
rightly. Yeah. And still to this day, I still have nightmares of them dogs jumping through them windows. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that scared the crap out of me.
yeah. When you see that game now, you think, "Oh my God, it looks like shit." But back in the
Yeah.
day, it
How did
was
that scare
awesome.
me? Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. It was so
yeah.
realistic back then, and now it's like that's a pixelated mess.
Yeah. It's like some triangles with legs jumping through a square. Yeah. And the last game on this list, which, like you said earlier, Greg, I think it's going to be a massive one, especially for the Dark Souls lovers, which has got quite a cult following now. It's Bloodborne. And this is, I didn't realize this, it's a PS4 exclusive as well. I thought it was on
No?
the old Bone as well, but it's a PS4.
Yeah, it is a PS4 exclusive.
Yeah.
I believe Sony is helping fund development on this one, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. So, yeah, this is one that a lot of people are. This is the one that's getting circled on people's calendars.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't have a ton to say about Bloodborne. It's never been my type of game. I'm not a Dark Souls person either. I mean, we know that. So to me, I'm like, eh. But I fully recognize this is probably the pinnacle of first quarter. This game has, outside of Evolve, I think probably has the most hype going for it. Um, and the Order 1886 is probably right there with those other two
Yeah.
games in terms of hype levels.
So, just out of curiosity, which games on here are you guys definitely getting?
Sorry, I just blew right into the mic and probably killed people's speakers everywhere. I think Evolve was the only one that was really on my radar to pick up, and I don't know I'm going to pick it up. So
Mm.
Q1 is going to be an interesting one. It may be more of a downloadable and kind of wait and see before I buy
Yeah.
quarter.
How about you,
For
Robin?
me, Dying Light will be on my rental list. I'll
Yeah.
buy Grim Fandango because it'll not be that dear. Evolve, I'm going to hold off and wait and see. Project Cars will probably be very close to day one for me
Yeah.
if it's if it's close to 85% sort of review scores or 80%. That'll probably be the turning point for me there. I'll probably want to buy into that.
Yeah.
No interest in Resident Evil and no real interest in Bloodborne. The Order 1886, if it's good, I'll pick it up, but it'll definitely on the rental list.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, the one out of that list will be Project Cars for me that I'll say, and Grim Fandango's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I should
But
throw out there real quickly. There may be other games that are not on this list of games that these were just the ones that I was able to pull from the
Q1.
future Q1. Yeah, so I'm sure there are things that are going to be getting released. Like I would bet money at this point that Microsoft is going to release Ori and the Blind Forest in Q1 because
Oh
they're
yeah,
they're they're
that was
looking
beautiful.
thin right now as is. So I'm sure that's going to come. Um, because it was supposed to be Q4, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken. So it slipped into 2015. That
I
would be
mean,
one.
there are some fantastic titles coming this year. I mean, further out, I mean, you've got The Witcher.
Yeah, but
Uh,
specifically just Q1, and then this is
well,
kind of the first quarter after the big holiday. What's out there? There's
yeah,
some big ones to be had, but I think for
but I
me,
mean, there's a glut of games at the moment. When you take your the Sunsets and the Master Chiefs and all the stuff, big stuff that's came out, the Dragon Ages.
Dragon Age.
There's just I haven't touched it yet, and that's something I really want to play. But there's just been so many games that and time is limited,
I have to
so
confess, I still haven't left the hinterlands.
you've got to leave the hinterlands. I know, yeah, even I know that.
uh, Mark, what about you? Anything standing out for you
Um,
on this?
the two PS4 exclusives, really, for me. Not because of PS4 exclusives, because I love Dark Souls, so I think Bloodborne's going to be definite. And The Order 1886, ever since I saw that first video at E3 the year before, I've just wanted that game so bad. Project Cars and Dying Light will be possibles. But yeah, the two definites will be The Order and Bloodborne for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess that does it for our preview of Q1. Um, I didn't check to see if we had any tweets from the community up there. I don't know if there's any chat besides Gary putting out ridiculous trivia questions going on.
um,
No,
we've
where's
got
Parsnip?
a
Where's
I've got a
Parsnip?
shout out for him at the end. He's not been well, hasn't been old parsnip. He's been poorly.
Aw,
So
well,
Oh,
shout out
bless
to
him.
Parsnip.
mm.
All right. Well, let's
Okay,
move ahead.
sorry. Teflon is saying here he's very excited about pillows of eternity. Oh, I need my
Pillars.
glasses on. Yeah, pillars of
Pillars.
eternity, which is an old school C RPG. What's a C
What's C?
RPG?
I don't know.
Maybe it's a typo. An RPG
Chinese
by
Chinese RPG.
Obsidian. Could be. Yeah, and it's coming out in quarter one as well. So he's excited about Pillows of Eternity,
Pillows of
whatever that
Eternity,
may be.
or
Pillows of
pillars.
Eternity.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would
and
love Pillows of Eternity. You know what? A lion. Imagine getting a lion to 9 o'clock in the morning. Wouldn't that be fantastic, Greg?
yeah.
Do you
You
ever remember
can.
getting a lion to 9 in the
You
morning? I
can do
can't.
that. You can. You might be charged with child endangerment, but you can totally do
Yeah.
that. All right,
Yeah.
Robin, do me a favor. We do have
Mm.
some releases coming up next week.
Okay.
So we've got upcoming new releases. Why don't you just read through those? It's a long list.
Okay.
It's in the
Just,
notes there, just a little ways
yeah.
down from you there. It's massive. I mean, a ton of games coming out.
Okay, well, brace yourselves, Gertie. This is going to be a while. If you want to get a drink now, get it in. We've got Warhammer Quest on the PC, Mac, and Linux. And that's coming January the 7th. You've got Chariot for the Wii U, which is a very cute little game, but
Yeah, it's a good little
okay.
game, that. Yeah.
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 Did that come
Um,
to PS4?
Yes, but it's
Okay.
It's
Too
you
dear,
have to
too
pay for it.
expensive.
Yeah, yeah. The Xbox One version is better because it was free.
Free
Yeah,
does
it's a
help.
very cute
Free,
little game.
free is good.
Yeah.
And you have Funk of the Titans on
What the hell is
Xbox
that?
One. I have no idea. Um,
I actually had read up on this. It looks like it's a side scroller. Um, yeah, I don't know, but it's a music. It's got like music based gameplay in it. So
It's
there's one that says is missing from there, which is coming out in January as well, which is IDARB or hashtag IDARB, which I hope that the community takes on board because it's so much fun. IDARB is fantastic. It's like football, basketball, 8-player co-op online. It just looks like a heap of fun.
that actually
I
doesn't
can't
come out
wait
until
for
February.
February, is it?
Yep, because
Yes, I think
it'll be the games with gold game.
Oh yeah, so yeah, because I think it's out in January for a selected amount of people.
Well, yeah,
And
they're
then
pretty much I think giving away codes right now. You could probably ping the developer and get a code for that game.
yeah,
They're being very generous with pre-codes.
and that's kind of it for January. So play your backlog. I know I
Oh, yeah.
bought lots of games. I bought the golf club. I bought Sunset Overdrive. I bought Flockers. And the only reason I bought Flockers is because I got posters at Eurogamer and they're on the kids' wall, and they wanted to see what Flockers was, and it was down to about a fiver. So yeah, play your backlog in January, guys. That's about it.
Well,
Not a lot.
and I should
A lot
say
happening.
the games we just read off, they were just for next week. So that there will be other games
Oh,
coming
right,
in
okay.
January.
Oh,
That was
okay.
just for next week.
Oh, and anybody that has uh, damn it, where is my brain today?
Anybody that has
Um,
memory, please send it to
EA,
Robin.
yeah, I'm getting old. EA Access. From today or yesterday, UFC is now available as part of your EA Access library of
Oh,
Vault
yes.
games. So
Yes.
I've never played a UFC game before, so
No.
I'm gonna have a go at that.
Yep. EA Access. No value for the consumer.
No,
I will never let that go. That was one of the funniest statements I think I've ever heard. Uh, all right, let's see here. Let's update some of our what's going on. Friday Night Racing had taken a winter break. I think it's going to be starting back up.
Yeah, probably starting next week, I'd
yeah.
have thought, but I've not heard anything for definite yet. Like I say, Parsnip's been in and out of hospital the past couple of days, and
So I'm sorry, what?
I've not been online.
Really?
Is
Sorry,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
been. Oh, goodness, well, I didn't
uh,
know. Okay, then.
yeah.
Swine flu.
He's had an ear infection which has burst, and it's the infection has nearly travelled up to his brain, and you know how sensitive his brain is, don't you? At least a little thing will set that thing going off. So yeah, he's been quite ill. This poor old Parsnip.
Oh,
So.
Parsnip, I'm sorry to hear that, mate.
Anything for
Oh, that's
attention,
terrible.
Dorian. Anything for attention. We hope you
Yeah,
feel better, but I mean, there's
yeah,
easier ways to get our attention.
yeah.
All right,
So
so Friday Night Racing should be coming back. Definitely
cool.
check in with the Henwood, I believe,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
The Henwood in
Yep,
the
he's the guy
forums.
to speak to. Yeah.
And then if you want to join a cult, there's this thing called Clan Wars. Fraser Moores is running that. It's in the G4TE forums as well. Get in touch with him, and you can lose your life and break ankles sitting on the
Oh,
Yeah.
toilet
oh,
trying to.
oh! One of my bombs has just been upgraded to level 3. Oh, wow!
Uh, hey, we had a cross chat and cross platform challenge.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, Mark.
Yeah. Just before Christmas we set up the golf club challenge on Littlebrook Manor Course. Now we did initially sort of like set it to 2 weeks, but what we found out during that time was because we're all sort of like fairly new to the setting up of tournaments.
Well, let's face it. What we
We
found
we
out is the golf club isn't terribly like easy when it comes to their user interface.
No.
Things don't just come natural when you do
Yeah.
that. So we had a little bit of trial and error in setting up tournaments.
Yeah, I ended up with 3 on my list, but because I can't delete them. But basically, what we did was we initially set it up for 14 days, thinking, oh yeah, people can play it and get us the best score in that 14 days. Wrong. You can only play it once when it's got a time limit on,
Right.
which we thought was a bit unfair. So what we've done now is we're going to change it to like it's got no time limit, so you can play it multiple times, and then obviously it'll record your best round, which will help Robin because he had a plus 26.
Yes.
Eight.
Uh,
Eight.
yeah, oh, plus 28, yeah. And also with the holiday period, a lot of people haven't been able to get online much, me included, due to family and everything. And we thought it's only fair if we can extend this out to the next time we're on, well, I'm on, which may be 1 week or two. We don't know yet, Greg.
Yeah, but we'll set this out for another 2 weeks at least.
2 weeks, right? Yeah. So we'll go for another 2 weeks from today.
Right.
So the course is Little Brook Manor. If you do a search on your PS4, make sure you're on my friends list, which is Marcanics. If you search for the challenges, you'll see that one. If there is more than one, it's the one with 0 days to go, not the one with a time limit. So apologies for the other ones. I can't figure out how to get rid of them. On Xbox One, we have Greg DeLacy hosting that tournament, so make sure you have Murphy's Law on your friends list. And for PC users, we have the Real Defoe running that one, so make sure you've got him on your Steam friends list. And that's it for the cross-platform challenge for this week.
Perfect. Perfect. And Robin, we're going to have you kick off the old victories achieved.
Yeah, quite a few people have been busy over Christmas time. We had the good old Teflon eventually finishing Dragon Age 2. We had Nick Nitrous finishing The Walking Dead Season 1. John Mouse, who doesn't particularly like the Overseas Connection in his top 5 podcasts, finishing Far Cry 4. I seen a tweet from him. He's off my Christmas list. Colin for the Colin for the win finished Assassin's Creed Rogue. Mr. Miyagi finished The Witcher. Bungo the Sane finished Tales from the Borderlands Episode 1. And here we go. Teflon 12 finished Never Alone. Jason, It's Shiny Here finished Never Alone. And his good wife partner, Hot Chutney, also finished Never Alone. And I think they've done that together. Mr. Miyagi also finished King's Quest 3 Redux. Roberto UK 73 finished Sunset Overdrive. Here we go. Amras 89 eventually finished Mass Effect 2.
Hello,
Heard that fantastic
2012.
Yeah. Finished that fantastic
Great game,
last,
great game.
that last battle. That musical score is fantastic there. Big Bad Daddy also finished Never Alone. I hope he enjoyed it. Bungo the Sane, whoever he is, finished Mario Kart 8. And Companion Cube, good lad, finished with a tear in his eye, Valiant Hearts. And those are our victory achieved. Now, one thing we have to do, and we haven't done it this week, I don't think, Greg, is that victory achieves finished at the end of December, I believe.
Right. So the Q1 winner we
So-
will announce next week.
Next week. We'll do
Yes.
that next week. And I think, is there an update for the lag armored wank ball?
We don't need to talk about that anymore. I think Gary won it all. It was a setup from the get-go. I think he rigged
Thank
the entire
God he's
scoring
gone
thing.
from the
Yeah,
he's gone from the chat. Thank God.
exactly. I'm pretty sure he rigged it all. So, yeah, that was.
That can be removed from me notes and never be mentioned ever again.
It can be, at least for for this time being. I mean, congratulations, Gary. I guess. More importantly, congratulations to Nicole. The Jacinto Coalition, she and her partner in crime, and I want to say, I'm trying to remember her name.
Janine.
Yes, Janine. They did awesome. They really did. They did great. So they deserve all the credit in the world. Gary deserves no credit. They deserve all the credit, and yeah, they took it all the way to the championship bracket. So.
I even tried to razz Gary on Facebook for you, on his Facebook page about his, he didn't want to practice his Madden skills and stuff like that there before your match, but it didn't really work. I done my best for you, Greg, but
There was no helping me.
it.
There was no helping me. My entire season of fantasy football, both in this fantasy football league as well as in my other external fantasy football leagues, I was doing great all the way up until the first week of playoff time, and everything got derailed by Andrew Luck deciding he didn't want to play football. So thanks to you, Andrew Luck, you screwed me over on many a league. But anyway, that's a different story for a different day. All right. Let us wrap things up here. If you want to be a part of the conversation when we are podcasting, it's super easy. We have this really neat little fast, easy way to get to us. It's called Twitch TV /G4TE, just for you, Dorian. You can jump on and be part of the live stream every Friday at about 3 o'clock. Sometimes we're a little bit late, but we try to kick off right about 3 o'clock. And, of course, you can go live.g4te.com is probably the easier way to do it.
Wow. Just to keep old ear infection happy.
Yeah, I know. He was going to throw a conniption fit if I didn't throw that in there. So, yes, live.g4te.com. That is by far the easiest way to get to us. No forward slashes, because sometimes you mistake forward slashes for backslashes, and then you get into a huge debate over what it really is.
Yeah, get your slash right.
Get your slash right. We have a speak pipe, so if you want to send us a voicemail, you certainly can. It's sp.g4te.com. And just type that into your old web browser. It'll take you right to our SpeakPipe page, and you can leave us a 90-second message of encouragement and or discouragement. We'll play it either way. You can always email the show, podcast@g4te.com, like Jason Johnson did, and send us trivia, because we love trivia, and every once in a while we try to reward those that give us trivia, as Jason Johnson can attest to. And podcast@g4te.com. You don't have to just send trivia. You could just send us emails as well, but we love the trivia. So just make sure it's multiple choice and you give us the right answer, because someone needs to know. You can always tweet us. We're on the Twitters every once in a while at @OC_podcast. And finally, we have a Facebook page somewhere in the interwebs. It's fb.g4te.com. And last, but surely not least, you can find us on iTunes or Stitcher or whatever podcast app you're using to find podcasts. Just look it up, G4TE.com's OC podcast, or the Overseas Connection podcast, and you should be able to find us one way or another. If not...
Hey, Greg,
yeah.
Do you know who the Facebook fan of the week was this week?
You know what, Robin? It is funny. I do not, but I have a gut feeling you just might.
Yeah. The Facebook fan of the week this week was G4TE.
Congratulations, G4TE, for being our Facebook fan of the week. You get a gold star.
Do you know what? I know you poo-poo Facebook quite a bit, but it is quite popular. We get a lot of likes on Facebook, and we must do more on Facebook.
Yeah, I don't poo-poo Facebook. I really don't. I don't have a problem with Facebook. I just don't use it. I use Twitter a heck of a lot more, and that's just my personal take. So I am on Twitter a bunch under our podcast Twitter feed, and I don't know who our gremlins are that control the Facebook feed for us, but apparently it's popular. And hey, Facebook, it's a thing. I heard the kids like it. I heard even some adults like it. So there you go. All right, shout outs. Besides shouting out our fan of the week on Facebook, let us shout out maybe one another and or others. Robin, go.
Well, first off, Happy New Year to all our listeners and all the people, members of the community. Happy New Year to you. I hope it's a great gaming New Year. I'd like to shout out Parsnip. He's not feeling too well, and get well soon, buddy. Fraser Moores, who is self-inflicted ill because of standing on ice last week, the curling guru. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Happy New Year, guys. Yeah. Mark? Oh, dear.
I'd like to shout out my fellow B teamer Nicole. She's away on a travels seeing family at the moment, so I'm missing you, Nicole. So I can't wait to get back. To Gary, sorry I wasn't available on New Year's Day to help you out on Destiny raids, but family comes first, sadly. So sorry about that. Steve Conger, he's got a PS4. Yay!
Yes.
Yeah, he was on the PS4 the other day, so I sent him a message saying, you finally got one, and he said he's enjoying it, so nice one. And to Dorian, I hope you get better soon, guy. I know he hasn't been well at all. He's been in and out of not hospital overnight, but like outpatients and going for like drainings and all that crap. So
Have
yeah,
they
I hope he
found
gets better
a
soon.
brain? Have they found his
No,
brain?
no. Apparently, they was worried at first, thinking it was going to affect his brain, but then they realised it's in his big toe, so they was quite relieved. So
Oh, it's
yeah,
hairy toe, a big hairy
yeah,
toe.
yeah.
Ugh.
And I just want to wish everybody out there a happy New Year. I hope it's a
Yeah.
good one for you. Over to you, Greg.
All right. Well, I will start off with a shout out to Dorian as well. Get well, sir. You are definitely a backbone to our community, so we could not be what we are without you. So
Mm.
we wish you a speedy recovery, and stop sticking your ear in the jello. This would all be avoided. Um, I want to shout out our listeners because without them, this show is just a shell of what it would be. So thank you to them. I want to shout out the two of you for taking time to come and podcast and not go do crazy things like curling or go hang out with relatives.
Yeah,
You know, you had priorities and you put them first. I appreciate that.
yeah.
Uh, let's see. I'll shout out Mr. Conger as well. Glad to see he's joined the next gen, although he would argue he's been there all along with his PC. But I know he was excited about getting his PS4. He picked it up. I guess it was at one of the refurbished demo units. He got it on like total dirt cheap, like 250, I think, for through Best Buy. Uh,
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, you got a good deal on it.
yeah, that's a heck of a good deal. So there you go. Um, I want to shout out you, Mark, for totally ignoring Gary DeFelice and not helping him play Destiny and putting your priorities straight.
Yeah.
Um, let's see what else. I want to shout out the new year because this year so far we have had 0 games released that have been broken.
I just hope that trend keeps going.
So do I. So do I. All right. Well, that is it. We are done. We're out of here, and thanks for listening.
Yeah, happy New Year.
God bless us all. World peace.